Alright guys, so this is the second time I'm actually recording this video. The first time I had it on mute, unfortunately, but hey, we're gonna go through this the second time. Hopefully we can get through it pretty quickly, but I want to talk about the Zen ecosystem and how I believe, look, there's a lot of tools and development happening and why you want to essentially get into this project. But I always urge that you apply risk management because it is still a low crypto cap coin. And at the end of the day, you have to apply caution. We are basing it off, again, guys, we're basing it off of, a speculation when it comes to, these smaller crypto assets. But I do believe this is going to drive the next narrative in the next bull market in terms of burning, proof of burn, because Ethereum, again, moved into burning their own portion of the gas fees to make Ethereum deflationary at the end of the day, guys. So I can think this is the next narrative that's going to drive, and I think Zen will be the leader in terms of gains for this, guys. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the tools for Zen ecosystem, what you want to essentially watch out for the Zen, burning and what's going to be happening there. Again, a lot of good projects coming out on Zen, and the more projects come out on Zen, guys, it's just going to spell very well for overall price. However, there are going to be traders coming into the market every once in a while to basically take profits or get in to essentially speculate on short-term price action. And that is going to drive the price up, short term, but a lot of people are going to be taking profits medium term, guys. So there's nothing wrong with these pullbacks at the end of the day. That's why I essentially came out, made a tweet saying that, look, I took off my initial investment. I made a big investment around the 110 area, and I took off my initial investment and just letting the free money essentially ride out. But there's a lot happening with the burning, and that's, I think, where the Zen that you guys actually went out and bought into the market or you minted will come in useful to get into these projects. Because in order for you to get into these projects, you either have to go out and buy directly on the market, or you have to burn them to get into those projects. And one of those projects that are essentially going to be coming out is the XN coin, guys, which is going to be the mainnet of the Zen itself. And in order for you to get into XN, you have to essentially burn Zen, which again spells very well for the overall price of Zen, gonna make it more scarce. People just tend to focus on the actual liquid supply and the total supply of Zen, guys. Even though it has so much, supply out there, the fundamentals have to come into play to essentially make that asset essentially worth millions of dollars, right? You can't just say, okay, it's inflationary coin. Look how much zeros it has in the supply, but it does it actually have a good use case, right? It does it have a good ecosystem based off of their fundamentals? What's going on? Are they building? And how can it become an inflationary coin? I think Zen is driving the narrative here, guys, of how these large supply coins, like Shiba Inu, can basically take this narrative and start burning to enter other projects. Okay, we saw in 2020, right, the decentralized dexes, we saw decentralized pools, and people were just running into them, right? They were putting multiple amounts of capital in there, and they grew. And that's what I think is going to be happening with Zen as well too, with even launchpads. We saw that happen with launchpads, people getting in. But I think this is a better way of doing things, right? Because most of the allocation do not go to the founders, this way, right? They don't even get a cut. They have to be like the community. They have to get in by either minting or buying. So this is the difference that Zen is doing, right? And it's innovating in a way that it's really creating founders that are fully decentralized. They are just like the community, guys. They don't have special rights essentially given to them in the beginning, with a certain amount of allocation. They start off from the bottom just like everybody else, guys. They have to mint in order to get those coins, right? Or they have to essentially, stake, buy on the market, and do all this stuff essentially to grow their portfolio into that project. Even though it is their project, they worked hard. It's giving fair value back to the community in some sort that they don't have a large allocation where they can actually dump on, the community itself. Zen is innovating. This is going to be, I think, the big narrative, guys. We talked about, good projects that I invest in. Again, BAB with regulated decentralized finance, what's happening there as well too. Pretty cool stuff. And same thing with Zen, guys. Zen going to be phenomenally well in this type of narrative, guys. So some of the tools I want you to guys to keep track of is zen.turbo.io. Very cool dashboard. Again, gives you a lot of information with Zen NFTs. You can go in, it has short links to the Zen NFTs where you can actually buy them and do many things there. You can go to dexscreener.com. You can track the price of Zen, DBXEN on multiple chains. So very useful tool there as well. Zen.pub, guys, very useful tool as well. This is all built by the community of Zen, and the pace that they've built these tools is just phenomenal, guys. Like, you can get analytic data so quick based off of, you know, these different chains and what's happening with DBZen and Zen itself. Is just mind-blowing, guys. Not a lot of communities out there, you know, these crypto asset communities have this type of development, you know. Yes, they have some, you know, bells and whistles, but yeah, the pace that this thing is actually growing is just, I mean, it's crazy, guys. Again, apply risk management, guys. Apply risk management. Always tell you to do that. The other website, again, zen.network, where you can actually mint and stake your Zen. And then you have dbzen.org, so you can burn your Zen to get DBZen, which has a limited supply, guys. Limited supply here, and it's just gonna drive a growth for the Zen ecosystem overall. The other website is zenmon.com, which is pretty cool. You can go on Zenmon, take your public address, again, public address, guys, paste it in here, and you can track all your stakes and mints when they're actually ending, so you can keep track of them in one place, because it can get confusing if you have multiple wallets and you're trying to mint Zen and stake Zen on multiple chains. So you can just basically go in, put in your public address of each one, and just add it, and you can see when it will actually end. You can see here, this one says 30 days. This is the amount of Zen that I'll be getting on the Moonbeam network, guys. So you can go in, change it, and just continue to add those there as well. XLON, again, XLON, in order to get XLON, guys, which is another project that came out for Zen. In order to get XLON, you have to burn DBZen. So this in turn makes DBZen more scarce. Okay, now DBZen is like Bitcoin, guys. It has a limited supply of 5 million. So it's just a project that could come out every once in a while on Zen. Just benefits the previous project in itself, guys. So are we gonna see another project come out basically that burns XLON and then rewards you with another token? It's just I mean, look, they're finding use case scenarios for, you know, economics 101, guys. And I think this is how you can solve, you know, the inflation crisis that we're currently happening in our current economic landscape, guys. You have incompetent politicians basically running rampant, printing money, and they have no solutions to essentially how you can make deflationary money, guys. Not at all. You know, the only true testament to that has been Bitcoin. And I think Zen is driving another narrative to how you can make, you know, something more deflationary at the end of the day and more scarce. So it's pretty cool what's happening, guys. It's pretty awesome. But I want to drive you to the dashboard again, which is pretty awesome at the end of the day. It gives you a lot of details here, the Zen.turbo. I want you to keep an eye on this GUI here, because the higher essentially this is, the more difficult it's going to be for people to you know, mint Zen. We've seen during the bull market, right? Every time the bull market starts, you know, probably in the next halving in Bitcoin, we see a lot of influx of people come in and start investing. They have more of an appetite. Now, again, this is a little bit different with what's happening with the current economic landscape. We've been talking about this on our channel. But, you know, again, we're just basing it off of its results. And if, you know, we do get a bull run, this Ethereum gas fees are essentially going to go up, which is going to be a lot harder for people to be minting. And they're just going to be buying Zen off of the market, right? Because it's not going to be profitable for you to essentially mint Zen and pay these high gas fees, right? Every time the bull market starts, Ethereum gas fees essentially go up. You know, I started minting on different chains yesterday, and also on Ethereum too. I paid $68 in gas fees essentially. So if you are minting small amount and you're behind, you know, it makes sense more to essentially buy Zen than actually mint it. And the narrative is going to be that when the bull market starts, then, you know, people are going to be buying Zen instead of minting it, which drives the narrative that, you know, they're going to be more buy pressure than actual, you know, circulating of mints in the market, guys. So that's the thing there. One thing I want to again drive your attention to is the cost of minting. So you have 6 zeros for 884, So this is how much it basically costs to mint Zen. And again, this goes back to, again, once gas fees essentially go up, then this is going to drive a lot of pressure into, buying a Zen instead of actually minting it, guys. Again, this is the Zen supply. We can see every time this goes below zero line, this indicates that there's more burning happening on Zen. Currently, there's more minting happening at this moment. So you can see daily new supply that came into the market, okay? And you have daily new burned there, and the daily new liquidity. So it just basically calculates that for you there, and tells you what the percentage ratio are between burn and being there. So we want to be below the indicating that there's more burning happening than actual minting. The other portion of this that I want you to focus on is that a lot of people have about 37% of the minters or stakers in this case have a long-term conviction into Zen. So 361 days is the number that people are actually minting or staking at the end of the day, which is great. You see that a lot of people have conviction into what's happening with Zen and the development. And then you also have here the second into this, which is 34%, which is between 91 and 100 days. So you can see people do have a long-term belief in what's happening with Zen. And, very low percentage are actually, again, holding for that 1 to 30 days. Okay, so you can see the amount of addresses there as well. Again, future supply trend shows you that as well too. So very cool stuff in regards to this. Want to continue to see, again, more burning happening, and that only will occur if more projects continue to come out. Let's go ahead and can just talk about quickly in regards to XN. So in order for you guys to get essentially XN, you have to burn Zen, which again is great for Zen in itself and the supply shock that it brings. So in order for you to get XN, you're going to have to burn Zen. And the best time to basically getting into to burn your Zen for XN is on full moons. Now there's full moons every month, okay? And there's going to be 12 cycles of that. So in a year, there's 12 months. So you're going to have an opportunity to get into that, once a month, which will provide you the best case scenario for you burning your Zen. And again, 12 months, the whole thesis of that is that, it's a full moon. That's when the most, I think the best time is to essentially, they tied it into the moon and astrology and all that stuff, is the best time to essentially be burning your Zen to get XN is during a full moon, guys. When your teeth, essentially, Jack Levin said, when your teeth are at their sharpest and fully sticking out as a vampire or werewolf or wherever you want to say at the end of the day, that's when you want to actually be burning Zen for XN. Now XN, again, going to be a limited supply of 1 billion, which is automatically going to be cut into half, which is going to be 500 million. So there's going to be a lot of scarcity there as well too. And again, very cool stuff happening. Again, DXN going up in price. It seems that every time that Zen actually goes in price, DXN goes up. So they're, correlated in the opposite direction. And this spells also very well for XLON. Okay, the meme coin for Zen. I know there's a lot of information happening on this chain, guys, on Zen in itself with Ethereum and all that. I mean, it's just a little bit confusing as a newcomer. Again, let me know what type of videos you guys want to see in terms of Zen, but again, long-term belief. I like what I'm seeing here. Very cool stuff. Again, risk management, guys. Apply that. Don't risk more than you can afford to lose, especially when you're, playing around with multiple chains here, guys. Moonbeam, Phantom, Ethereum. It can get definitely expensive, and you can get ahead of yourself if you really don't have a strategy. So I always recommend, even when you're trading, guys, you have a strategy to implement. There's nothing wrong just buying Zen and holding it at the end of the day and speculating that way. But if you really want to get into the ecosystem and start burning and stuff like that, it can be very costly if you don't really have a strategy. And especially, if the market doesn't do very well in terms of what's going to be happening with Bitcoin, if it goes a lot lower. Anyways, I'm going to cut this video off. It's getting too long. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Until next time, bros. As always, stay profitable.